Hey, what's up? This is Steve Cardenas, a.k.a. Rocky the Red Power Ranger. And Jeff Barrazzo, Trent Fernandez Mercer from Battle Thunder. And you are watching Team Venom Media.
What is up, everybody? It is Jay Pagliaro of Pull No Punches and Team Venom Media. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a safe and happy holiday season. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or don't celebrate anything at all, may you be safe, may you be merry, may you be jolly, and all that other happy horse shit. May you be all of it above. I don't know what any of that bullshit means, but hey, it sounded good in a greeting. So be safe, be well, and tip your friendly waiter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of Season 2 of Team Venom's Power Ranger podcast. You see, I nearly mumbled that there, but that's on
Not even
on
10
brand
seconds
for me.
in, and you're
it's
already...
literally on brand for me, and it's so we'll leave it like that. Obviously, this is the end of the second season. It's the holiday season at the moment as well, hence the very festive background I've got and the very festive light show you've got behind you. Which is...
I'll do my best Vanna White here. Do. Oh.
But yeah, for this one, we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of, I was going to build it up. Basically, we're doing a clip show. That's how we're doing this one. It's going to be a clip show. So first thing that we'll do is we're going to go to a little special message that we had from my good buddy Connor Franks, who hosts the Talking TNA podcast and runs the Connor Yorkie YouTube channel. So we'll go to that, and then we'll come back.
What's up, everyone? Connor here, the favourite of Team Venom Media. Just want to say, you guys, cracking season of the Power Rangers podcast. Merry Christmas and all that. Loving it since the cast got cut down and streamlined. You guys have really gelled. Keep up the good work. I'll see you next season.
Magical.
I like it. I like it a lot.
But one of the things that's nice, Paul, is that it obviously says about the format being better this season because of it being streamlined down to 2 or 3 of us instead, which I think works quite nicely because we're not all sort of tripping over each other's toes on this one, which is good. So
yeah, it's nice. Like, we don't have people stepping on each other. We don't have like people repeating the same questions or trying to reword the same questions. So yeah, I like it. We got a good trio here.
Yeah, and the other bonus is, well, like you say about the question thing, I know we had it with the Ron Wasserman stuff on the first season where we had different guys from because we had 6 of us, didn't we, doing the first season, and 3 of us were on the first Ron interview, and a different 3 of us were on the second one. And the people that missed it, they just asked the same questions that the other ones did, where they obviously hadn't watched the previous ones. So, yeah.
I think I'm guilty of that one.
No, I'm sure you popped up. Yeah, I know, but you didn't do that, so you're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, but...
that seems like ages ago, don't it?
Yeah. Well, it was a couple of years back, yeah. So, because we had like about a year hiatus, didn't we? And then got back in for a second season. So, although... Obviously, we won't do that this time. We'll just start up again in January and smash through them because it's great. So, but yeah,
having fun and no freaking drama.
That's true, indeed. And well, to tee up our first clip, we're going to go to a fan of the channel, fan of the show, someone that we speak to a few times in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan groups and stuff on Facebook, who comments on all of our posts about the podcast and whatnot. So this is a young YouTuber called Nick Tillett, who has it. If you want to check out some of his stuff on his channel, which is the Nick channel, he's interviewed Ron Wasserman already himself. He's got a few other interviews lined up and stuff. So here's a little clip from him, and we'll pop his channel link in the description.
Hi, my name is Nick. Please watch Team Venom Media. My favorite part about the podcast is the Ron Wasserman interview, and the Ron Wasserman interview is my favorite part.
Yeah, so that was Nick. Obviously, his favorite bit was the Ron Wasserman interview that we did. I'm assuming he means the latest one because I know he'd commented on that and had watched that and such. So I quite enjoyed the latest one we did with Ron. To be fair, it was quite good because we got to the point where we were sort of shooting the shit with him and potentially lined up a future Clash of the Champions for our season 3 at some point, provided we can get in touch with the other half of that bout. So let's insert a little clip of that now. I know, Paul, you were keeping track of who'd been on the most, and you.
Well, I strive to be number one, so hopefully I've done the most now.
But yeah, think you are one ahead of Mark.
Yes.
Good. Tell Mark tough. Too bad, Mark.
No, I think now we're just gonna have to make it to where you both are on the same show, and come on, let's go at it.
Yeah, let's have a fight. I have my brass knuckles somewhere here. I have no.
Yeah, so if we get that on that'd be great. So potential for a season 3 showdown. So Paul, I've waffled quite a bit. What's been your favourite parts so far this season?
Yeah, it's not so much the interviews this year. It's the more relaxed environment that we've put onto this season as opposed to last season.
Yeah.
It just seems like the interviews are a lot smoother. We're having fun. We're gaining listeners. Our listeners are responding positively.
Yeah, hence Nick's little clip.
That's honestly my favorite part.
Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly. So I think that's my favorite part of the year so far.
Okay, well,
come on, when we get David on,
I'll do a clip for that.
When we had Zordon, come on.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, we'll say Zordon. We'll put him on. His Zordon.
There we go.
I guess to continue on that topic, so I know Saban had the rights to Power Rangers and Disney had purchased it. Now Hasbro has it. Has it been the same process, the same issues throughout, regardless who owned it?
Well, I mean, if you take a look at how the show has been produced since Saban had it, I'm not sure how it was done during the Disney years, but since Saban bought it back from Disney, everything was being filmed in New Zealand. And the reason they film it in New Zealand is because it's a non-union area. They don't have to pay union rates. They don't have to pay for all of the things that the unions and stuff ask for. That's why the show is shot over there. So again, the same sort of, from a production standpoint, the money-saving aspect of it is paramount. That's the number one thing. It's like, shoot these episodes as quickly as you can in an area where you don't have to pay as much, and then blast it out on media and advertise all your toys and make all your money. That's what it is. My perspective. So
yeah, so that was see, the thing with having David on, one of the best things about that for me was the fact that we had him on the first season, and he was the first. I think he was the first or second person from the first season of our podcast to come back for the second season, which is great. Not the first 2-time guest. Obviously, that was Ron, because he had a good laugh with us the first time round and wanted to come on again. And Ron's now been on 4 times, just like Mark Richardson, the prop master, has done 3 times, I think. So there's that too. And it's been nice that we've been able to get consistent guests that both want to come on here and talk about stuff, but have actively gone, yeah, we'll come on again, even when there's nothing to promote. Like we saw with that last Rom thing. The last thing he did, Power Rangers related, was the Once and Always special earlier this year, which he scored everything for, and we got him on and we spoke about that then. The last time he was on, it was literally because, like you said, it was more relaxed and we was just having a bit of a catch-up with him, really. We had a good 10-20 minutes before we started recording of just shooting the shit with him, and it was great. So
that was a lot of fun. And you really want to get Ron going, just bring up reality TV. He could go around by himself for a half hour.
Yeah. So, but like one of then again, that, as I say, that ties in with your point of it being more relaxed and stuff. But I've also enjoyed the fact that the pair of us have done stuff that isn't strictly Power Rangers podcasts and stuff, because obviously with the pair of us have had a few times where we've randomly gone, right, let's have a half-hour rant on wrestling or whatever, or something like that, because, you know, that sort of stuff's fun to chat about too. So, so that's been cool.
We actually progressed from being a dedicated Power Ranger podcast to basically jumping into street pop culture.
Yeah. So,
that's
so
a lot of fun.
Indeed, and it's it's just been a big fun year for the podcasts and stuff in general. But one of the things I'll just quickly throw a shout out to the first, I think the first guest we had on this year, which was wrong hand, Alpha. We got Sandy Selner, who was the suit actor for Alpha 5, on for a bit, and that was awesome. I know we didn't get video on there at the time, it was an audio only podcast, but it was cool. So I'm gonna throw in a clip of that because it was great to have Sandy on here, and obviously we'd happily welcome her back on whenever she fancies joining us again.
Absolutely.
1, 2, and 3 are regarded as the best of the best. What was your favorite memories on the show?
Oh gosh. I think the fact that it was my very first television experience, so like everything was new and exciting because it was like scary, you know. we were all kids and we were all on this, you know, crazy show together, like and we were all new to the business. I don't think any of us had ever done television before. I had come from a theater background, so like I don't know. I think it was just a special memory, like a very special time in life, because we were all just young and starting our careers, and I don't know, the whole thing was pretty special.
So there it was, Sandy Selner. Who would have thought we'd have Alpha 5 on our podcast?
And Zordon, like you said, mentioned earlier, we got Alpha
come
and
to think
Zordon.
of it. If you think about it, the guests we've had on. Now, if you would sit back, let's say when you're 10, 12, 13 years old, and say when you're an adult, you are going to be on, well, we didn't have the internet back then, but, you know, but when you're in your adulthood, you are going to be talking with these people.
Yeah.
Who would imagine?
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, like I've said to you before, I was a fan of the space season, and we've had Andros and Zane on, which is crazy to me that we've had two of the Space Rangers and such. And yeah, I completely agree.
And let's say what it is. In Space is such an underrated season.
Yeah, it is, and it suffered because it wasn't Tommy and Co. Because the turbo season suffered from them switching over to different Rangers midway. But
no, the Turbo suffered because it absolutely sucked.
Exactly. So you had the negative stigma going straight into In Space of we've got the same two guys from Turbo that didn't do so well, and lots of fans dropped out. But In Space is one of the best series, in my opinion. So
yeah, it's one of the first ones that actually feature murder. So, you know.
Well, that's true. Yeah. And yeah. But the fact that it is the finale of that season ties into the Once and Always special that came out this year as well. So we got that too.
Yeah, that worked out great. Which
yeah.
That was good. We had Cosmic Fury come out this year, which was good. I wish we could get in contact with some of that cast. So if you're watching, you know, hit us up. We're available to talk anytime.
Just check your messages from me. Send them to everyone.
I've done that on Instagram. I'm left on red. So
yeah, same here. It's very upsetting. But yeah, so yeah, we had Alpha, we had Zordon, we had Zane from well, yeah,
I missed that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is a shame, but we may as well cut to a little snippet of the audio from that, because again, that was another one that was an audio only recording. We obviously, for the benefit of the viewers that are watching this on YouTube, we try to do video, but our main audience is on Spotify and Apple and all those sorts of platforms as well, due to Spreaker. So sometimes the views on our YouTube channel don't look too great, but the stuff that's happening on the actual audio side of stuff is awesome. I think the the interview we had with Ron didn't do so well. It hasn't done so well on YouTube yet, but on Spotify, it's had over 500 listeners, which is awesome. So,
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, the Spotify stuff just really boosts everything up. It's just that it's not public facing, unfortunately, whereas
It's
YouTube
your
is.
ugly ass mug that's making people go audio. That's what it is.
I mean, to be fair, the ones where you can't see my face are the ones that have done the best this season. So, yeah, no, I think you're right.
Well,
You might be
hey,
on
call a
it, man.
spade a spade, dude.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway, we'll go to Justin Nemo from Power Rangers in Space, the Silver Ranger Orion. Just a little snippet of that.
I know Netflix has just had this resurgence with the 30th anniversary of Mighty Morphin, and what people aren't really picking up on is that we're also 25 years since In Space. Has there been any form of discussions with yourselves and the rest of the cast about any form of reunion?
I would say everybody on the In Space team would be excited if they were to do a reboot or something, and bring some of the casts in from In Space. If they wanted to do all of us or a few of us, whatever they want to do, we would be all happy for it. Sure.
Now, that was one of the favorite interviews I've listened to.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, yeah, I guess it's the thing of, I mean, I don't really listen back once I've watched them. But, once I've done the interviews and stuff, it's rare that I listen back to them unless it's a returning guest. And I think, well, I'm going to have to double check in case I've asked them the same question a bunch of times. And yeah, it was cool to have another Ranger on it.
I showed my wife last night our last Ron interview from last week, and she cracked up.
Yeah. My dad said to me the other day, he says it's weird. He says, because you've got the guy who does all the music on. My dad never watches any of my podcasts normally, but he checked out the Ron Wasserman one because it came up as a suggested video for him, and he randomly, how sometimes YouTube just starts auto playing. It started auto playing that one, and he was saying, no, that's really good. Like, you guys all just sort of gelled, and it was like you were just having a general chit chat and a natter amongst like a couple of friends. So yeah, it's great. So that's
Connor
probably
hit the nail on the head, man.
Yeah. But I'd say that was probably the most relaxed we've been on an interview was that second Ron one, and maybe the last Mark one as well. That was pretty relaxed as well. So.
The last Mark one I wasn't on because that was 2 weeks after his third appearance. If you remember, he did them pretty close proximity to each other. Yes. It was you and Julep.
The last Mark one that you were on is what I mean.
Okay.
Go with that.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, Julep's been dead sound as well this season. Obviously, we know he's not been on a few, but there's been a few where it's been just me and him, and somewhere. A lot where it's me and you and stuff as well. It's just purely down to scheduling. So anyone listening this and watching this and wondering where he is, it's just a scheduling conflict. So we'll have Julep back.
He's big into football, and he coaches.
A lot of coaching.
So.
Yeah. So we'll have obviously Julep's a full-on member of the Team Venom media crew and such, but he's on the podcast sort of part-time and stuff. So as and when he's free, he joins us, which is cool. So
anytime he's on, he enjoys himself. I still remember his first time being on. Oh my God, was he nervous as hell?
Yeah. Well, we may as well put a clip from that.
I mean, it would have been great to see 011. After 30 years, it would have been amazing to see 011 Rangers back, especially the original Mighty Morphin team.
Yeah.
I think if I want to say Netflix is following the whole MCU formula, which they like to do, I think there's a lot of things there on the wrap that we have to just tune in to watch.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're gonna see. I truly don't think they're gonna be the only Rangers popping up. I think they're gonna play a bigger role in establishing what Netflix wants to move forward, if that's what's happening here. Because I'm hearing a lot of rumors. I'm hearing that Hasbro wants to go in a different direction. They want to stay away from the Super Sentai. They don't want they want to do something fresh. They want to do something that they're gonna have more liberty creating a story
Whether it's, hey, we're gonna come out with our own suits or our own Megazords. I don't know what direction Hasbro wants to go. As a fan, I'm very open-minded to a lot of projects. I think that's the main problem. I think a lot of people are not open.
Yeah.
They feel like everything has to be specifically a certain way, which sometimes that doesn't work. I'm hoping that this new direction is going to be great. I just don't know. This is the only problem I have with Netflix. I don't know who are they catering to. Are they going to cater to the younger audience, or are they going to cater to those fans who have been nothing but diehard fans throughout years? Because there's many directions you could take this series in.
So yeah, that was Julip's first appearance. But obviously one of the things that that happens in between our seasons 1 and 2 of our Power Ranger podcast is that unfortunately, as everyone in the fandom community knows, those Jason David Frank, who played Tommy Oliver, the Green Mighty Morphin, White Mighty Morphin, Red Zeo, Red Turbo, Black Dino Thunder Ranger, unfortunately passed away, and it was one of those things that hit us both hard. I know we both spoke at the time. I put an article on the website and such. I had the good fortune to meet him a few years back and was introduced to him via Steve Cardenas, which was cool. Steve Cardenas is in Rocky. And he was absolutely brilliant when I spoke to him. He was absolutely lovely bloke. And we had the thing of being able to speak to Bruce Heinsius, who was the photographer. He spoke at great length about JDF and Thuy Trang, who was Trini, the Yellow Ranger, who passed away 2 decades ago. But when we had him on it, and it happened to be the anniversary of her passing, so so there was that, and I know we're obviously taking it to a bit of a sad place on this at the moment, but it was nice that we had guests that felt comfortable sharing their stories about JDF and Thuy with us. So we'll run some to that because it was really, really nice.
It was extremely nice because I don't know of a single person out there in any interview, any podcast, anything that I've ever seen or heard. Not one person had a bad thing to say about him.
Yeah.
Not one. And I remember the night clear as day. It's one of the few nights I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, which I never do anymore. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not even in my 30s anymore. But for some reason, I stayed up late that night. It was the day after I set up my Green Ranger display up here in my case. And someone in one of the groups, it wasn't our group.
Yeah.
But somebody put up their RIP JDF. And it instantly got hundreds of comments. Now you're full of shit. You're jerking our gherkins here, something like that. And then somebody posted a screenshot of his manager's Twitter account.
Yeah.
And his manager was the one that put it out there. And then first thing came to mind is, holy shit. Like, it's actually real.
Yeah, because the thing is, the first website to announce it was the one that no one had heard of. So it just didn't seem reputable. It wasn't on like TMZ or any of those sorts of sites or any news sites for, I think, a good 12 hours after that first one broke. And then, I'm assuming that it's the more credible ones were trying to verify the source and such. And then all of a sudden it was, it was everywhere. And like I say, it turned out to be true. And that's, just awful. It's a huge loss. But yeah,
the stories that Bruce sent out, they were great. About Trini, about Tommy, they were great. I love watching that.
So yeah, we'll go to that now.
Yeah, wearing these colors on purpose because before we started this show recording, I was mentioning that today is Thuy Trang, Trini, her anniversary of her death 23 years ago. And so I honor her. Oh, there she is. Yes. We're yelling her honor on Jason David Frank, whose birthday's tomorrow. So yeah, it's quite the unfortunate that they had to leave us so young.
Now we know why Green Day always said, "Wake me up when September ends," because this month stops.
Yeah, I heard you have your own personal reasons, and I've got mine that sometimes it coincides with a date that isn't too favorable for us to remember and associate. But, you know, it does give us, or I really appreciate life. And I wear my seatbelt in Thuy's honor every time. I mean, I always was pretty good about it, but I became religious wearing my seatbelt because she apparently not wearing her seatbelt.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you have like a
So do you
favorite
have any?
story about Thuy that you want to share with us?
Well, one of them is she was very enthusiastic. She really loved looking at photos that I took. And when I came with a set of slides, she would say, "Hey, do you have any new photos?" And I made a joke that might not be taken so well these days, but did you ask for nude photos? And she goes, "No, no." I said, "No." I go, "Well, then try saying recent, and then I can't mess up there." But she
We'll
seemed
be
to
right
take it
back.
well. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I weigh my audience, and she was pretty cool about it. So, but yeah, I bonded with her and maintained a friendship after the show, and we got together. We did. Sometimes she'd call upon me to do like an actor's reel shoot for her. She invited me to her pilot episode called Tracy, The Adventures of Tracy Z. Had you heard about that?
No, I've
She
not
was
heard
in
of that.
she was in development to get a pilot made, which she did, which was kind of along the lines of Power Rangers and not superhero really, but she played a college majoring in reporting the news. So she was like an anchor woman, no, a field reporter, and she'd get mixed up in some crimes and stuff that she would actually end up using her martial arts to solve. So she hired me as a still photographer, and I haven't been able to find any pictures from that, but she also was in the Crow part too, and she not hired me. She asked me to show up for just before the movie came out. There was a pickup shoot. They needed some close-ups of her, and so she got in her Crow makeup where she was playing a very dark, evil character, which is so opposite of what she played in Power Rangers. And so she asked me to take pictures, and I took a lot of nice photos of her, sometimes looking at my lens or just, catching the moment. And let's see, we also did a photo shoot at my studio at my home where she got to bring a lot of different looks we created. I got a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a wardrobe person. So even though it was just a fun shoot, we did a lot of like maybe 5 or 6 different looks for Thuy. And that was about a year and a half before she was 25 at the time. And yeah, I got some really good photos, including one with me next to her.
One of the things that, not only with that one of the things that I quite liked with some of the people that we've spoke to with regards to JDF is during the first season, and this is, I know we're redoing clips from the second season at the moment, but I'm going to throw a clip in from the first season at the moment, because the first time we had Mark on, we were just asking him about times that he enjoyed on the show, and he was telling a story about JDF and such, and just laughing about it and everything. And this was prior to JDF's passing, which, like you say, there's no one that had a bad thing to say about him anyway on any of these shows. And this just goes to show how highly regarded he was by his, co-workers and stuff. So we'll run this clip from Mark from a few years ago, just before JDF had passed.
About this, a lot of I get a little R-rated with some of my stories, and I don't know, because I mean, this is a kid's show and stuff, but there was a lot of wacky things that happened. This is something that's extremely embarrassing to me, and to this day kind of scarred me. We were shooting at Leo Carrillo Beach, and we were up on the hill, and we had probably about 50 extras that were supposed to be beachgoers, and
Yeah.
Jason Frank is dressed as the Green Ranger, and we're up on a hill. And he calls me over, and I'm talking to him, and he's in his helmet and everything, you know. And then he yells through his helmet to everybody gather around. And he brought all these background people down below us, and we're above, standing on this hill, looking down at all these background. And I'm thinking, what is he up to? Because he's up to something all the time. And he goes, "This is Mark Richardson. He's our prop master." And people go, "Yeah." He goes, "I want to show you something." And he pulled my pants down.
Oh my god!
Because I'm in my trunks. I'm a surfer. I'm butt ass naked in front of 50 extras, and I'm in shock.
no.
Like I don't even immediately pull my pants up because this is a dream. I'm dreaming. This is not happening. You know, but that, you know, when people, Jason Frank, you know, tap out, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but he was that kind of guy. He was he was a lot of fun on set, though. He was
All right, yeah. So that was Mark. Obviously, a really nice story and a really amusing, a fairly amusing story about JDF when they worked together, and that was great.
He was wearing underwear, wasn't he?
We'll have to ask him. We'll have to get him back on here and ask him the next time we get him on for like season 3. We'll have to ask him. So, but yeah. We'll wrap this up. Thank you, everyone that's watched us this season. Thank you, everyone that watched us last season. Thank you to everyone that's following us on Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon, iHeart, all the other places, and obviously everyone that follows us on YouTube, everyone that joins in and chats to us on the Facebook group that's got 5,000 odd members, which is run by the pair of us. Paul, is there anything you want to add on, man?
Yep, I got to do it. So we've had a hell of a year. Had a hell of a season.
Yep.
It wouldn't be right if we didn't end it with a toast. Cheers, bro. To an excellent season. To everybody else out there.
I've already
Merry
got
Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Ah, that's good stuff. It's a little warm.
Well, yeah, well, that's it. Well, thank you all, and we'll see you next year.